The title for today's story is The Cursed Mansion, a tale of horror and mystery. Chapter 1, The Premonition. My name is Emily, and I've always been drawn to the mysteries of the unknown. As a child, I would spend hours poring over dusty old maps and forgotten books, imagining the adventures that awaited me in the wider world beyond my small hometown. However, it wasn't until I lost my parents in a devastating accident that I truly began to understand the thrill of danger and the allure of exploring the unknown. In the wake of their loss, I felt restless and unfulfilled. I had the persistent feeling that I was meant for something greater, something that would finally give my life meaning and purpose. It was then that I first heard the rumors of an old, abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. The thought of uncovering the secrets of a place long forgotten filled me with equal parts excitement and fear.
We want you to be a part of our journey, so please subscribe and hit the like button to stay updated on our latest content. Also, if you have any real or fictional horror stories that you would like to share, please leave a comment below or on our Reddit forum, which you can find in the description box. And if you would like to get credit for your story, just let us know how you would like to be credited. So, join us in this terrifying journey and subscribe now.
Welcome to the family, son.
I couldn't shake the premonition that this was the adventure I had been searching for all along. As I made my way towards the mansion, the overgrown path leading to its door, I felt a sense of unease. The very trees seemed to be warning me of the dangers that lay ahead, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. But I was determined to see it through, to uncover the truth of what had happened to the mansion and the souls that had once called it home. I knew that I was risking everything by venturing into the unknown, but I couldn't ignore the call of adventure. And so, I pushed aside my fear and stepped forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever horrors lay ahead. Chapter 2, The Mansion Unveiled. As I approached the mansion, the overwhelming sense of unease that had settled in my stomach grew stronger with each step. The once grand structure was now in ruins, its walls and roof caving in, the windows shattered, and the doors hanging off their hinges. I hesitated at the entrance, peering into the dark and eerie interior. The musty smell of decay filled my nostrils, and I could hear the creaking of the old wooden floorboards, the rustling of leaves from the overgrown trees, and the distant hoot of an owl. Despite my reservations, I took a deep breath and stepped into the foyer. The grand chandelier that once hung from the ceiling lay shattered on the ground, casting eerie shadows throughout the room. Cobwebs covered every surface, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone. I made my way from room to room, each one more decrepit than the last. Paint peeled from the walls, and the once luxurious furnishings were now nothing more than dust-covered ruins. And yet, I felt an inexplicable pull to keep exploring, to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within the walls of the mansion. As I reached the staircase, I couldn't help but feel as though I was being watched. I spun around, my heart racing, and heard a faint whisper. I took a step back, and my foot caught on something. I looked down to find an old journal, its pages yellowed with age. I flipped through its pages, and my heart skipped a beat. It was the diary of the mansion's last owner, and the entries told of strange occurrences, the feeling of being watched, and of a malevolent presence that haunted the halls. I shuddered, realizing that I was not alone in my fear. And in that moment, I knew that I had to get out of the mansion, that I was in grave danger, but it was too late. The doors slammed shut, and I was trapped. The premonition that had brought me to the mansion was becoming a reality, and I was caught in its grasp. The whispers grew louder, and I could feel a cold breath on the back of my neck. I was surrounded by darkness and terror, and I knew that I was not alone. Chapter 3, Trapped in the Mansion. As I tried the doors, they wouldn't budge. I was trapped, a prisoner in the mansion that had once been my destination. My heart raced as I frantically searched for a way out, but every window was boarded up from the outside, and the old floorboards groaned beneath my feet, threatening to give way at any moment. The sound of dripping water echoed throughout the hallways, and the faint whispers in the distance made the hair on the back of my neck stand. I returned to the diary, desperate for any information that could help me escape. The last entry told of strange noises in the walls, whispers in the night, and the feeling of being watched. The fear was palpable, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone. It was then that I heard it, the sound of footsteps coming closer. I tried to call out, but my voice was trapped in my throat. I backed away as the footsteps grew louder, until they stopped right outside the door. The doorknob started to twist and turn, and I held my breath, waiting for the worst. And then, the door creaked open. I screamed, but there was no one there. I peered out into the dark hallway, but it was empty. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that something was lurking in the shadows. The sound of a faint laugh echoed through the air, and the chandelier hanging above my head started to sway as if being moved by unseen hands. I made my way down the hallway, my heart pounding in my chest. I had to find a way out of the mansion, but as I turned the corner, I was confronted by a figure, shrouded in darkness. I stumbled back, my heart in my throat, but the figure didn't move. Its eyes seemed to glow in the darkness, and the sound of footsteps getting closer and closer filled my ears. It was then that I realized the truth, that I was not the only one trapped in the mansion. I was not alone in my fear. The premonition that had brought me to the mansion had become a reality, and I was caught in its grasp, forever a prisoner in the walls of the mansion. The sound of the ghostly laughter echoed through the air, as if taunting me to my inevitable fate. Chapter 4, The Horror Revealed. I stood paralyzed, my heart pounding in my chest, as the sinister figure stepped out of the shadows and into the flickering candlelight. Its twisted and gnarled face was a grotesque mask, with eyes that blazed with an otherworldly fire. I tried to back away, my hand tightly gripping the diary for comfort, but I was rooted to the spot. The figure lunged forward, its fingers curled into claws, and I knew I was doomed. I closed my eyes and braced myself for the end, but instead of feeling the creature's grip, I heard a voice, cold and menacing, whisper in my ear, "You shouldn't have come here." I opened my eyes, but the figure was gone. I spun around, searching frantically for any sign of it, but it was nowhere to be found. The fear, however, remained, clinging to me like a second skin. I stumbled down the dark and musty hallway, my steps faltering as I heard strange whispers and moans coming from the shadows. I stumbled upon a room I had never seen before, filled with strange and ancient artifacts. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, holding a mysterious tome that was bound in human skin and bound with rusty chains. I approached the tome hesitantly, my hand reaching out to touch the cover. As my fingers brushed against the leathery surface, the tome suddenly began to glow with an unearthly light. A surge of power coursed through me, and I felt as if I was being drawn into the pages. With a trembling hand, I opened the tome and the horror was revealed. The mansion was cursed, a prison for the souls of the damned, and I was now one of them, trapped forever within its walls, condemned to suffer the same fate as all those who had come before me. The diary had led me here, to my inevitable doom, and there was no escape. I screamed, the sound echoing through the halls of the mansion and out into the night. But the screams were soon silenced, and I was left alone in the darkness, a prisoner in the mansion forever.
Thank you for watching the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. If you're feeling brave enough, leave a comment and let us know which story was the most frightening for you. And if you have any horror stories of your own that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear them.